This is Herschel from High School Top 200. This next preseason top 50 ranking is St. Peter's College from Auckland. Now, I've been talking about how strong the 1A is this year, and that clearly the best comp in New Zealand this year. And so, even for the other teams who are really good, may not even look good in terms of their record playing in that conference, and so it's going to be hard for those kind of teams. St. Peter's is going to be on sort of on the other end of that, to where these guys are a really good team if they were playing in other competitions, but they're going to look really bad record wise in the 1A. So don't let it deceive you on how, just because if you look at their record and you're saying, oh, well, they're not good because they've lost so many games or whatever. I still think that they're a really good team, just in a very hard competition. I would start with the loose trio for St. Peter's. I think that their loose trio is right up there with the rest of them. Cullen McNabb, who I probably think he should be the captain this year. I hope he's the captain this year anyway. I hope that he's the captain. Such a good player, such a rugged kind of player. Doesn't mind doing the hardest stuff, doesn't mind doing the unpopular stuff like smashing your head in there and cleaning somebody out, or taking the hits from just trying to protect the ball. He's like one of those kind of guys, and then they kind of got two of them with Josh Wheeler as well, who I think is going to be a massive counterbalance to Cullen. But the other thing is that they have a new kid, Thomas there, Palanite, who's come over from Mount Roskill Grammar, and when I saw him at Mount Roskill in the under 15s, he's a young year 12. I saw him playing in under 15s and just playing second five. He's going to go to St. Peter's and be a number 8, which isn't actually that bad because he's a massive kid anyway. And so those three are going to be what I think the loose trio. But you also have Nico Jones, who is also a very good blindside. I think that he's just maybe in at the wrong time kind of thing. I think in a lot of other teams he'll probably start, but because you got guys like Josh and Callum and Mussy there, it's going to be hard for him to break through. And maybe he'll get his chance, maybe not. But I think that they have three guys who are really good, and then the best six man off the bench kind of thing in Nico Jones. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they handle this loose trio, because this loose trio I think is going to be the foundation of what their team stands on. If these guys don't play good on the day, they're going to struggle quite a bit. Zion Hall is going to be back as year 12. I heard he's lost a lot of weight and put on a lot of muscle in the gym over the summer, and like I said before, he is one of those year 12 props that I'm waiting for next year, who I think is going to blow up and is going to be part of that big group of props who are all going to have to fight out for these jerseys in New Zealand secondary schools, and he's going to be one of them. Him and Wesley Tapueluelu is going to be there at the tight head, and Zion probably going to be loose head. Josh Fraser's going to be there as well. He's come off some big injuries, I think it was last year or the year before, but finally he's back. Callan Felicia is going to be their main lock, and he's going to be sort of play that same role that Cameron did last year. And so they don't really lose much out of that. It's going to be who else is going to back up. Who else is going to back up after that? Hamda, I think his name is, Tuipolotu is the other lock that could be there, and maybe learn under Callan. So Hamda is probably going to be there as well. I think that this forward pack is solid, and they can keep up with everybody else. And like I said, and even if it is pressure, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. If this loose trio doesn't do well on the day, then they're going to have to try and figure out something else, because this is their foundation for their team. Luckily, they got someone like Nico on the bench who can actually come in if Callum, Josh, or Mussy are not having a good game. They can switch stuff around, put Nico back in, and then maybe start something off from there. And so that's what I'd be looking at. Tarkin is probably going to be the halfback. Lolosilo is Tarkin Lolosilo is going to be there. Josh Loveday as a guy I don't think got a lot of attention last year, only because Harry was there, so you can't really talk about your other first five if Harry's so good, because he just gets lost within what Harry brought to the school and what he meant as the first five. So Josh Loveday steps into the position at first five, and he is good. Like, they're lucky they have such a good backup like him after Harry. Theodore Staffy is gonna, or Stephanie is probably gonna shore up that line to where they keep everything going. He's such a good runner. He's got such good footwork that he can dart in and out of tackles and spaces and things like that. So like, that's going to be something that they should really play off. Nella, Sinisa is probably going to be, even though he was on the wing, I think he could be a good fit for centre. And then maybe Denzel Pritchard will probably go. Denzel Pritchard's year 10, and so maybe he'll go on the wing. Siueli is probably another guy. Fangupo is probably the other guy that I think may be all right to go into centre. But I'd probably rather Nella go there into centre and then put Denzel on the other wing, and then Robert Leunga is probably going to be at fullback again, which is massive because he was really good at fullback last year, and I don't think he got a lot of credit for how much work he went through. And so he's going to be a really good safe player at the back for them to sort of rely on when he's back there, and to maybe get them out of trouble a little bit. Apitona Vaka is back as well, and I think he'll be able to fill in where's needed. So that's something that they could maybe think of and probably maybe work around and see what happens. But I do think that I do think at the end of the year it's gonna be hard to look at them as a team that was really good, because the conference that they're in the competition that they're in is so hard that you think about it, they have to play Mags, Sacred Hearts, King's College, St. Kennigan's, and then they still got Kelston, and then De La Salle, and then so if you just happen to even lose all those games within 5 points, when you look at your record, it just looks bad, but it's really not. These guys will dominate if they were anywhere else, but that's just kind of what comes with it. I think that these guys are going to be a really good squad, and I hope that they knock off some of those big teams at the top, and then show that they have that caliber of team that I think that they kind of have anyway. So that's my review for St. Peter's. Peace.